Hi everyone, I'm Sarah and this is Budgetsew, where we create stylish, fashionable looks as inexpensively as possible. Today is December 20th and the 20th day of Vlogmas. Vlogmas is a holiday event where YouTube creators, such as myself, post a video every day in December leading up to Christmas. Today, we're going to make a snowman candy jar. Just a quick note before we get started, today I'm wearing a top that I upcycled. The link to the video where I show you how to customize your own garment by applying an applique is right here at the top of the screen. The Snowman Candy Jar is a craft that my mom and I did when I was a child. I remember making the snowman, placing it by the Christmas tree on Christmas Eve, and waking up on Christmas morning with it full of candy. I used to squeal with excitement when I saw the Snowman Candy Jar because I knew that Santa had filled it just for me. I hope that this craft gives you wonderful memories to cherish for many Christmases to come. To make a snowman candy jar, you need a mason jar and a light bulb. Yes, you heard me correctly, a mason jar and a light bulb. My first step was to cover my mason jar with white glue. I bought my glue in a package of 3 for $4 at Dollarama, a Canadian dollar store. I've used this glue on lots of crafts, including my festive fox family felt ornaments. The link to that video is at the top of the screen. I held the jar by the rim with my left hand and turned the jar back and forth as I squeezed the glue out of the bottle with my right hand. Then I laid the mason jar on its side and rolled it in some fiberfill. I used Mountain Mist Fiberloft 100% polyester fiberfill that I bought in a 1 pound or 454 gram bag for $3.99 from Value Village thrift stores. I pressed the fiberfill around the jar as I rolled. One other project that I used this fiberfill for was my Christmas pickle. The link to that video is at the top of the screen. I trimmed off the excess fiberfill and stood the jar upright and continued to press the fiberfill against the jar. This is the body of the snowman. I added a bit more glue where the fiberfill didn't quite stick. Then I held the light bulb by the cap and turned it back and forth as I squeezed the glue out of the bottle with my left hand. Then I placed the light bulb top side down on the fiberfill and pulled the fiberfill up around the bulb. I cut off the excess fiberfill with my crafting scissors that I bought in a package of 3 for $4 from Dollarama. I bought quite a few sewing supplies at the dollar store. I bought scissors, thread, bobbins, pins, ribbon, tape measures, buttons, and even sewing machine needles. All the products have worked out very nicely. Then I placed the light bulb cap side down on the mason jar. This is the head of the snowman. Before I continue with the snowman candy jar, please like and share this video with your friends and family. I would love to help others sew and refashion on a budget and troubleshoot their favorite patterns. I also love sharing the treasure that I find at thrift shops. If you'd like to see more from Budgetsew, please subscribe and make sure that the bell is on so you receive a notification when I release a new video. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Budgetsew. Now, back to the snowman. Next, it was time to decorate my snowman. I cut a piece of black felt about 2.5 by 6 inches, overlapped the short ends, and glued them. This is the crown of the snowman's top hat. Then I cut a circle from the black felt for the top of the hat. Then, using my white tailor's chalk, I traced around the mouth of a small mason jar to make the brim of the snowman's hat out of black felt. Then I cut it out. Then I folded the circle in half and cut out the center. I bought my felt in a package of 45 sheets approximately 6 by 6 inches for $3 from Dollarama. There were 5 sheets of each of the 9 colors, including yellow, red, pink, blue, white, black, light green, dark green, and orange. You may remember this felt from my Sew the Queen's Corgi pillow video, where I applique a corgi onto a pillow. The link to the McCall's Crafts Sew the Queen's Corgi pillow is at the top of the screen. I applied glue to the top of the crown and tacked it to the top of the hat. I tried the hat on the snowman before gluing on the brim and noticed that the hat was too tall, so I trimmed the height of the crown to about 2 inches. That looked much better. Then I applied glue to the bottom of the crown and tacked it to the brim of the hat. Next, it was time for the snowman's carrot nose. I cut out a circle from my orange felt and then cut it into quarters. I rolled 1 quarter into a cone shape, glued the edges, and tried it on my snowman. Quite a few items that I used for this project came from the dollar store. I've also bought craft supplies for my other hobbies, including yarn, beads, felt, embroidery floss, paints, paintbrushes, and scrapbooking materials. I've spent a lot of time in the craft aisle, looking through the products and imagining what I could make. Then I glued the nose to my snowman. I applied a small amount of white glue to the base of the cone and then stuck it in the center of my snowman's face. Then it was time for the eyes. I rummaged through my button collection and found some small, black, glossy buttons. I applied a small amount of glue to the back of each button and stuck them to the snowman's face. Then I used the same size buttons down the front of the snowman. This snowman craft has been in my family for years. Not only did I do this craft with my mom, but my Nana did this craft for my mom and her friends for the children's Christmas party at their home in December 1963. My mom is the one sitting in front of the doorway. There was a small toy for each child placed inside the snowman. Attached to each toy was a long ribbon that led to each chair at the table. When the top of the jar was removed, each kid gave a little tug on their ribbon to pull out their gift. What a lovely Christmas surprise! Then it was time for the mouth of the snowman. I cut out a smile of red felt, but you can use anything you like. Pipe cleaner or small buttons or even ribbon. I thought my snowman needed a scarf, so I used some lovely wired Christmas ribbon. My mom gave this ribbon to me to use for this project, and it has little cardinals sitting on boughs of holly and bells. It has a gorgeous golden border and glitter throughout. Then I glued the smile to the snowman. You can add other decorations like pipe cleaners for arms or a little bow tie for your own unique look. I folded my ribbon in half because it was just a bit too wide for my snowman, and then wrapped it around the neck of my snowman, or the mason jar. My last step was to fill my candy jar with candy. I removed the snowman's head and dropped the candy into the jar. Once the jar was filled to the neck, but not to the rim, I placed the head back on the snowman. Here is the finished snowman. like making a snowman candy jar with me. Please like and share this video with your friends and family. I love sharing my new, vintage, and out-of-print sewing patterns, and my tips, tricks, quick fixes, and even my mistakes when sewing along with you. I also love sharing my wonderful fabric finds that I thrifted from charity shops, as well as brand new fabric online and in-store. If you'd like to see more from Budgetsew, please subscribe and press the bell so you receive a notification when I release a new video. If you'd like to stay up to date with Budgetsew, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Budgetsew. Thanks for watching. See you next time.